welcome back to Lira in Law. Broadcasting as usual live from London, England today, Thursday, the 1st of August. Every Thursday, of course, as much as we can, no? Every Thursday, nandito ako, hopefully imparting some knowledge that's useful to you, no? Between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. Now, pag-uusapan po natin, as I say, ngayon, topic natin, part 2 of a series of 3, and that's challenging home office refusals, no? So last 2 weeks ago, pinag-usapan nga natin challenging a spouse refusal. Unfortunately, there are quite a few of those, especially with the change in the law to do with income. Kung problema nyo ngayon, go back, no, to us, as I say, some 2 weeks ago. Tingnan nyo uli, no, replay it. So the good thing is we keep nga our we make sure that we keep the previous recordings nga in case you want to go back to it and look at it. Now, without further ado, pag-uusapan nga natin ngayon, episode 3. God, it sounds really posh, you know? Episode 3 of our 3-part series, challenging home office decisions, particularly today, challenging visit visa refusals. Now, okay, so umpisa po ito. Sabihin natin, ang sitwasyon nyo nandun ka sa Pilipinas, let's say, nasa Pilipinas kayo, nandito ang magulang nyo, no? You want to visit them in the United Kingdom, and dito na nga sila nakatira, and of course, inimbita nga kayo. But for whatever reason, na-refuse yung application nyo. Anong pwede nyong gawin? Now, first consideration nyo is not so much how to challenge, is should you simply make another application? So yung una. That's why I always say to mga kalayanti ko. First tip ko, do you really want to challenge? Tama ba? No? Are there grounds to challenge? O kayo bang nagkamali? No? It could be na nakalimutan yung magbigay ng kumpletong mga dokumento, for example. And you have those documents, nakalimutan nyo nga lang. Or you forgot to explain, no, a document. Most of the time, the 2 reasons for refusal usually is money, no, and intention, no. Pag-usapan natin especially yung intention. The intention is more difficult, of course, to challenge. But sabihin natin, nakalimutan yung magbigay ng bank statement, no, na kumpleto. O hindi nyo in-explain nga anong trabaho nyo. So, if that's the case, then you may want to consider, rather than challenging, which can be quite a lot of waiting time, at saka mas mahal nga, potentially, is make another application. It's a bit of a pain, dahil of course, umpisa na naman. But at least alam nyo, ano bang problema, and you can deal with it. So if it's a fairly simple refusal, so kayo may kasalanan, nakalimutan nyo magbigay, o hindi kayo nag-explain na maigi, then it could be that you want to simply submit an application. Now, ang kalayanti ko, tanong nila sa akin, well, do you have to wait some time, no, bago kayo magpasok? No. Sabihin natin na refuse kayo ngayon, no, visit visa application nyo. Pwede kayo magpasok ng panibagong visa application, no, the following day, if you want to, no. Yung nga lang, ingat kayo, dahil kung ang papasok nyo, ganun pa rin, then you meet exactly the same result. Pero kung alam nyo, meron kayo nakalimutan, and now you can submit those documents na nga ngayon, it could be that it's cheaper and it's faster to simply submit a new application. Now, sabihin natin, hindi pwede, no? You've looked at the documents nga, it's not simply a question of making a new application. Dahil kung magpasok yung application, marirefuse ulit. Prime example po is intention, no? Now, kung ang rason ng visa officer, they don't think that you are a genuine visitor, no? And unlikely to return from the United Kingdom pagka nandito na nga kayo to your home country, sabihin natin sa Pilipinas, no? Then no amount of documents probably will get them to change their mind. Yun ang problema sa intention. It's obviously not really, it's very subjective, no? And it could be that's how they perceive it to be. So kung yun dahilan, and I would imagine probably at least 60% of refusals are to do with intention, no? Then chances are there's probably little point making a new application. So kung yun ang dahilan binigay sa inyo, what can you do? No? Do you do nothing? How do you challenge? There are two really limited ways of challenging a visit visa refusal. Ang una, there's a possibility of a right of appeal. But beware, okay? Generally, there's no right of appeal in relation to visit visa refusal. Inalis nila yun in July 2013. So for 11 years now, actually nearly exactly 11 years na nga, they removed the right of appeal where it's a visit visa. But in some cases, there's a possibility, and that is on human rights grounds. Okay? So, what does that mean, though? No, may guidance yung Home Office. Actually, if you want to have a look at the Home Office guidance, ang title is considering human rights claims in visit visa applications and visit applications. So it is what it says on the tin. So it's if you Google that, no, it's a Home Office guidance. They normally have guidance for most things. Yung Home Office, makikita nyo doon. Yun ang titingnan nga ng caseworker. No? Ano bang kailangan yung tignan? Kailangan nilang tignan when they're dealing with applications. Now, there are 4 points that the guidance says they look at, and I'll read it to you. Maiksi nga lang naman eh. So, ang unang question nila eh ito: does the application niyo for visit visa say that it's a human rights claim? Nilagay niyo ba doon? I'm coming back to that because I have a practical tip for that one. Number 2, does the application amount to an implied human rights claim, even if it does not say that it's a human rights claim? So kahit hindi nyo sinabi, can you imply it? Now, ibig sabihin yun, for example, meron kayong mga yung nga, magulang nyo dito o yung anak nyo nga nandito. So it could be that there's an implied human rights claim that because of the type of applicant you are, because of your family, because you're a family member. I'll come back to that again, because not every family member can potentially claim human rights. But that's a bit more. That's actually a bit more complex than that. Pangatlo, sabi nila, are the matters raised capable of engaging human rights? Again, I'll come back to that as a tip, no? And then pang-apat, does the human rights claim have any prospects of success? Again, I'm coming back to that. So I'll deal with all those 4 points together nga. Now, so what sorts of visits might pass the test? Yung sinabi nga nila. So for example, sabihin natin, so this again, because we have a common law system, you have to look at case law, no? Yung mga kasong tinignan nga nila. So what can you look at? No? What does case law indicate, show? No? So what could amount as a human rights claim or human rights appeal nga in relation to visit visa application is unang titingnan nyo sino bang anong klaseng applicant. So generally, so sabi nga nila, case law said kung asawa nyo, no, so gusto mo nandoon nga kayo sa Pilipinas, sabihin natin hindi kayo pwedeng pumasok dito as a spouse or you don't want to. No? Because you're living in the Philippines and that's where you want to be, o babalik naman siya sa atin, o uwi siya doon. You want simply to be able to visit. So generally, kung nandito if you're visiting your spouse, no, then it's more your chance of being able to argue that there's a human rights appeal is higher, because you're saying, well, they're stopping you from actually visiting your spouse. So sabihin natin, for example, may sakit. I mean, this is something actually I have some cases where this is indeed the case. May sakit yung kliyente, yung asawa dito. Yung kliyente ko gustong bumisita. Actually, gusto niyang gawin, she wants to be able to enter the UK, to live in the UK. Hindi nga lang pa pwede. Partly because of yung sakit nga ng asawa niya. And so, kung gusto niyang gawin, pumasok nga siya dito. So she made that application initially without any help nga. The application was refused. Now, we submitted nga an appeal on human rights, even though visit visa nga lang, sabi namin, there should be a human rights appeal here because it's a spouse wanting to visit her spouse in the United Kingdom, and it's not question of yung asawa nga dyan dito makakauwi sa atin because of his illness nga. So that's ongoing at the moment. I'm relatively confident that we should get a right of appeal and likely succeed on the human rights appeal. So yun, for example, so spouse to spouse, chances are quite good that if you'll be able to argue human rights appeal. Bata, no? Ibig sabihin young child, so under 18, coming into the United Kingdom, visiting parents, for example. Again, that's a possibility. An older parent nga coming into the United Kingdom to visit mga anak niya nga dito. Again, that's a real possibility. Now, where it becomes more difficult is beyond those types of relationships. So sabihin natin kapatid nyo, no? I get that a lot. Actually, kapatid gusto mo bumisita nga dito. That becomes more difficult unless you're able to show such closeness nga, no? So ang payo ko, tip ko, no? Pag magpapasok kayo ng visit visa application, yung always submit yung statement nyo, and if possible, even legal representations, but at least statement. Yung statement nyo, parang affidavit, no? Sasabihin nyo doon, itong application nyo nga, gusto nyo bisitahin yung magulang nyo nga dito, they're already retired, or maybe unwell, you want to be able to visit them and also potentially assist, no, in caring for them. That's not actually employment. Okay, you're coming really to see your parent or parents, no, to help in their care for that limited time until they can make arrangements, for example, for a carer, for example, no. So kung yun ang plano nga, sabihin nyo nga ito. That way you potentially trigger, no, a right of appeal if your application is refused. Also, it's a matter of explaining, no, to the Home Office nga itong gagawin ko pagka nandito na ako. It's not a question of papasyalan ko dito, pasyalan ko doon, but it's actually to visit with my parents who are unwell, who need help, no. So explain nyo nga yun. And that way, as I say, you also trigger, no, the potential right of appeal. Now, going back, yung lista nga nila, the 4 points, no? So it's better to actually raise the human rights issue rather than expecting the Home Office to conclude there's probably human rights. And that's easily done, no? Yung statement nyo, yung sulat nyo, or you say that you made this application on the representations, you made this application nga, and of course, you in doing so, you're also relying on Article 8, right to family, no, human rights, because it's obviously to be able to continue, no, and be with your family in the United Kingdom. It doesn't have to be long, no. You simply mention, no, human rights. That way, makikita nga nila. So it's not a question of, well, maybe not. Their Article 8 is engaged. You're already saying in the beginning that this is an Article 8 issue. So you're preparing, just in case, no, your application is refused. You're preparing a possibility of appeal. Okay, because as a general rule, as I say, walang appeal rights if it's a visit visa application. But you may be able to persuade a court that, in fact, you should have been given a right of appeal, an Article 8 right of appeal, because it's you visiting your family in the United Kingdom. Beware, I go back to this, no? Beware, the further away you are from yung if you like the nuclear family, so it's been anak, no, asawa, then the less likely, no, that a court will say, well, you do have a right of appeal pursuant to human rights. So yun ang una. So do you have a right of appeal under human rights? And that's the only way that you can raise this challenge, you know, a visit visa, a right of appeal on human rights, no other basis in relation to, as I say, the appealing. Now, let's say you can't appeal it for whatever reason, no? But nagkamali sila on law. Now, in that case, it's not a question of appealing it, but you're going to judicially review it. Okay, so it's an application for judicial review. Judicial review is one of those areas of law that is quite complex, actually. Now, pag-uusapan natin yung maigi. I'm going to go into great detail next week because that's our third topic in this series, challenging. But I want to at least look at it a little bit now today. Judicial review is frankly not my favorite. If I have a choice between appeal or judicial review, I always go for appeal. Unang-una, mas mura yung appeal. No? Less complex also, and what you get as a result is likely to be better. Na kung manalo kayong on appeal, then a judge will likely will order the Home Office or can order the Home Office to change their mind, give you a visa. Okay? The judicial review, not. Now, judicial review, you are effectively challenging the process, not the substantive decision. Nagkamali sila in applying the process. Now, you need also to submit that usually within 3 months. And also, you need to be able to, there's risk on cost. Now, pagpapamaypay ako, because I'm so hot now, you could probably see that I'm really sweating nga nito, no? So it's summer. Summer has arrived, and I'm under these lights nga. So if you don't mind, may pamaypay ako. Now, so you have a general time limit nga of 3 months, and then on top of that, mas mahal pa. No? You need to apply for them for permission to judicially review, and then on top of that, they will not look at the they will not usually change, or they will not usually order the Home Office to change their mind. They will just say, well, nagkamali nga kayo. So the Home Office may then issue exactly the same thing as in a refusal, just follow certain better rules. So judicial review is not my favorite in the way of challenging, but it's also a useful tool. The reason being, a lot of my judicial reviews are actually sorted out in the beginning. So ibig sabihin, I prepare then my letter before action. So sasabihin ko nga sa Home Office, look, if you don't change your mind, we're going to judicial review. If you have a strong case, then they may actually change their mind. They can do that. Now, which then means, of course, makakakuha nga kayong visa. But more of this judicial review nga later on. Well, as in next week. So between the if you have a refusal nga for a visit visa, as I say, think seriously, should you appeal? Or is it simply better for you to resubmit nga an application? Or if hindi nga yung pwede, then you should certainly appeal, or see if you can appeal on human rights grounds. Alternatively, as a kind of last resort, really, I would say, is this judicial review. But be very careful nga din, because sometimes nga mga kliyente ko, ang sabi nga nila, magsasapalaran. That's not how you should conduct your challenges to the Home Office. You need to think seriously. Is there a chance of success? Is there a good chance, not just a chance, but just a good chance of success? Or is it simply better, say, to give up on this and pursue something else potentially? So think seriously nga of it before you launch a challenge against a visit. But look, don't also be shy about it. If you think nagkamali nga sila, absolutely, you should see about challenging. Just because they they refuse it, does not mean na yun na nga. And if you're unsure, seek advice. And a good solicitor should be able to say to you, ano bang tsansa, or is it better not to? I mean, you should also have very frank advice. Kung nga din, I always say to my clients, look, kung merong magagawa, gagawin ko, sasabihin ko, Kung wala akong magagawa, mas magandang wala tayong gawin na. Ngayon, at least, I was sasabihin ko nga din. And you should get frank advice. Now, I hope that that's of help to you yung topic nga natin, and that's it's useful to you or your family nyo, no? Mga kaibigan nyo nga. Now, we have, as I say, lots and lots of questions nga. But of course, before that, my favorite part of the show, yung batian nga. So, we're just going to take, actually, let me just see. So, should we take the batian na nga ngayon? I think like we should. Mainit nga lang. So, sorry, meron akong pamaypay, no? Actually, look, but before we launch into batian, we're going to take a short break simply because I'm so hot. I'm going to get a drink of water. Okay, all right. So short break. So impromptu break. So come back shortly.